Hello everyone. My name is Jenna and I like knitting. Welcome back. What an exciting week. My goodness, I am overwhelmed with the amount of love that I've gotten. I'm so happy you all are here. As promised, today I'm going through some of my past knits so you can get a feel for my style of knitting, what I dabbled in before, and kind of the progress that I have made over the last 3 years. It was very weird. I wrote down some things to have some kind of organization, but it might just end up being a gigantic mess. I said in the previous video that I started knitting when I was pregnant with my son. I am now very, very pregnant with our second baby. As you can see, nothing fits. Everything's, showing the belly off a little bit. I am feeling better. Thank you for everybody that told me that they hope I feel better. I am feeling better just in time for my husband to catch whatever we had and for me to find out that I'm already dilated and I am now on rest as best as you can with a wild 2-year-old. And now it's kind of like an any day gameplay, baby any day now. And that is wild because my son didn't want to come. He was 6 days past the due date. This one, it's what? I'm filming this on the 7th. She's not due till the 29th. So I didn't have any of this with my son. So this has been an experience in itself to already be progressing when my son did not progress at all until he came. It was literally so I'm going to try to get some videos ready for you guys so that you have something just in case my water breaks spontaneously, and hopefully that doesn't happen on camera. But I wanted to get into my previous knits. I started knitting when I was pregnant with my son, and it has just become such an amazing outlet for me to focus. And I used to have these other outlets. I was a yoga instructor, so meditation and movement were very big. And then time just got more and more constricted. The more involved in parenting you become, you have to put some things aside. And knitting at night and knitting during nap time has become such an amazing thing for me to just keep my cool. And so I'm going to be sharing probably on the side. A lot of the stuff is in our fall storage, which is just in the attic. I make it sound like we have a place for it. We don't. It's in the attic. It's in a bin. So because it doesn't get cold here till the end of December, that's a lot of the stuff is put away. So I will be showing you over here what a lot of the stuff looks like and talking about my experience knitting with them. And yeah, so grab your tea, your coffee, your water, whatever you got. I've got really gross decaf coffee this morning, and I'm not going to be drinking that. I'm not going to lie. So I have backup water in case I get a little bit parched. But let's talk about my first knitting experience, which I'm very excited about because it was something that turned out so beautiful, and it was such a thoughtful project and such a thoughtful gift that my husband got me. So my first ever real completed project. I'm going to say that because I started knitting headbands, just back and forth, cast on 6 or 8 stitches and just kind of nothing extensive. But my husband bought me a whole starter kit once I started showing interest. And in that, he got me this shawl pattern. And it was beautiful, but it had a lot of lace going on and wasn't quite ready to do charts. I might be ready to do charts now. I don't really know. I haven't done one. But I think I just totally lied. I have done a chart, but not in the way that this one was done. But the yarn that I used was a baby alpaca, and it is called Concentric by Haiku. I'll write it on here somewhere. And that yarn was so nice to work with. especially after working with like really intense wools. Going from like a really, like right now my hands are pretty raw because I've been working with a lot of felted tweed. So going from something that was like a thicker, I think I was using a wool ease in the beginning. And so going from something that was a little bit thicker, a little bit rougher on my hands, while my hands were already so swollen and everything from pregnancy, switching to a baby alpaca, that was like just lotioning your hands all day. You know, that was just so luxurious and felt so beautiful. My only thing with this pattern is, so I've had this shawl for 3 years, just about, and I don't ever wear it. Reason being, I don't like how short it ended up being. And I was very pregnant at the time, and I was going based off of what my kind of like starter knitting gurus at the shop were telling me. And I really wish I had knit it a little bit longer. I also wish I would have, there's a lot of like, I wish I could have done this, wish I could have done that, now that I know more, of course. But this was my first project, and it turned out pretty friggin' flawless. Like, I didn't slip a stitch. I didn't, you know, you can see my increases and decreases. Like, it turned out very beautiful. And I do love the way it feels. I wanted to use it for breastfeeding, and then I just decided that I didn't care if I had a boob out. So it was just like, you know, I didn't care to cover up. It didn't really matter that much to me. And yes, I am that person. But I loved knitting this pattern, so I've held on to it forever, and I might end up giving it to, you know, one of my girlfriends if they get pregnant, or you know, a sister-in-law if they get pregnant, or something like that, because I feel like everyone else in my life is just a smidge more modest than I am. But that's okay. I mean, whatever. I'm like talking to myself, like, it's okay that you're not modest. But I loved this shawl. I loved this project, and I held on to it because it was such a thoughtful gift, and it's so beautiful. And I feel like in the future I would love to re-knit this because it was just fun and quick to do, and the yarn was just beautiful. And yeah, so that was the first like completed project I've ever done, and so I'm just proud of it. I'm proud of it. It was a good little starter, and I do love the way that the color faded into lighter and darker shades. I thought that was like really stunning, and it wasn't like striping, it was more ombre, and it was just, yeah, like my husband, he knows how to pick something out. Like, he's really good at that. While I was dabbling and starting with this, I started kind of wanting to learn how to sew. So in between all these little knits, like doing big chunky blankets, I was selling those on Etsy for a little bit. And then I realized how flooded that market is with, like, you know, just doing burnettes and just, you know, quick knots and stuff. That market is so crazy flooded that I was like, there's no way. I think I sold 2, and I was just spending so much money that it just wasn't worth it. So I ended up making my family all chunky blankets one year because nobody was buying them. So they just got my stash pretty much. But it's a nice skill to have, to be able to know how to hand knit. It was fun. They were quick. We don't personally have any in the house at all, actually. No, we don't have a single one. So I gave them all away, which was like, you know, $80 in yarn per blanket. But they're fun to make. It was a good skill. Still know how to do it. So like, that's cool. But in between doing all of those things, because they were so quick to knit up and I just really wanted to get into the market of selling my products, I started sewing things as well. And so I'll just quickly show those because I'm not really going to be getting into like too much of what I've sewn. But the Morning Glory top right here, love this top. I'm going to make another one. I used a linen, just like a linen from Hobby Lobby, I think is where I got it. And of course there's a filter over it. Like, I wish I hadn't done that, but this was like 1.5 years ago. Really great top. It is reversible, which I think is super cute because you wear like a cami underneath in the front, so you're not like super booby, or wear it in the back and then you have this nice like angle. It's just really beautiful. It's very comfortable. And that's by Sarah Kirsten. So I can tag that below. It was a free pattern and just incredibly easy to follow. It did not take me hardly any time to make this pattern. The next one I did in December of last year, I made the jade pant out of a holiday tablecloth. So we didn't have a table for like the longest time ever. I was like, I'm never going to use this tablecloth because we don't even have a table. We have a table for like 4 years. And of course now we have a little one now, but I was like, this just looks like it should be pants. I can make this really cool pinstripe, flared pant. And I did, and I loved them. I love them. They're beautiful, and they were so comfortable considering it's a tablecloth. The fabric's usually a little thicker. Beautiful. I loved it. It was great. So that's the jade pant. I do believe I paid for that one off of Etsy, but I can tag that below too. And then I did make... Let me organize my thoughts. In the midst of the December madness, I decided I was going to knit a gift for every single person in mine and Cameron's family. And so I can do like a little collage of things off to the side because I knit a lot of stuff. I made scarves, I made beanies, I made, not really following a pattern with those so much because those were just easier to cast on. But I decided I'm going to try out the I'm So Basic sock, which is a free pattern as well. And I knit that for my sister-in-law. And it was so crazy soft. I actually used not even like a crazy yarn. The heel and the heel and the cuff were Keats & Co. yarn. But the coloring, all the crazy colors, crazy clown colors, were actually the hand-dyed yarn from Hobby Lobby. And I was very surprised at how nice that knit up. Like, I've had some weird situations with the Hobby Lobby yarn where I just haven't loved it. Oh gosh. But this knit up so nicely. And so I saw this yarn. Let me go in here and grab it right quick. It's wild. It's like, I'm never going to use it for anything else. It just reminded me of like horror movies and clowns and creepy things, okay? And that's her vibe. That's her vibe, and this was just the most fitting yarn for it. And the I'm So Basic I found on Pinterest. It took me like no time to knit up. Super, super simple. I did do something different with the heel to make it a little bit thicker. So I think I changed the pattern on the heel. But she is still rocking these socks. They have not fallen apart, which, you love to hear that. And apparently this yarn washes really, really well. So I am very excited about it, but this has just been sitting in my stash. So same as last time, if anybody wants this yarn or has anything, there's a lot left. So if anybody wants to do a yarn swap, if there's anything in your stash you're not in love with, send me a message on Instagram. Let's do a yarn swap. Let's not be wasteful, guys. Let's do something. I really like the I'm So Basic sock. I do want to make that one again because it was really fun. And she loves them, so that makes it all the more exciting. The first sock I ever cast on, I know this is like chaotic video, but the first sock I ever knit was a Stephen West mystery sock along. And that's ambitious. I was feeling myself in that moment apparently because I had no business casting this sock on. Absolutely not. I had never even touched a DPN. Honestly, I probably didn't even know what a DPN was at the time. And I am so glad that I did because I wear these all the time, guys. I did the Contrast Blast sock along. So this would have been last summer. And they're so cool, guys. Oh my gosh. I had never worked with color. My brain is so done. But I had never worked with multiple colors before. And so never worked with multiple colors, never played with DPNs, never knit a sock, never done a mystery sock along where I didn't even know what the heck I was making. So it was a lot of new, but they turned out so freaking cool. I had never done cables before either. So the cabling was new as well, but they're so cool. So they got the zigzag. They have this cool like picnic, super squishy. And then they have the little diamonds. And then there's cabling all along the gusset into striping and then broken rib toe. And I used Keen & Co for this too. I liked the Keen & Co when I knit it this time around. And then I started playing with making other socks, you know, just casting on with different brands. And it's really nice, but it does kind of tear up my hands a little bit, which was a bummer. I made the Lavender Lane sock and I just didn't love it as much. I do want to make that pattern again. I don't even have a picture of that one because that one turned out so bad. I just didn't like how it turned out. And it was like, I think my tension was off because it was hurting my hands so much. And so it just was an uncomfortable experience the second time around. I do have a little bit of that left. And that's just going to sit there until I like have something that needs purple. Maybe the flower sweater from Knitting for Olive. I can use some of that. Like some little purpley things, but it's plum and it's gray and it's beautiful. And this one is a silk blend. So it's very, very soft. And so the parts that are very, very squishy are super, super squishy. And I wear these all the time. I did lose Yarn Chicken on this one, but I'm not too concerned about it. I think it's kind of charming actually, and very fitting considering it was my first sock ever to also learn the rules of Yarn Chicken. Something you have to learn, you know? I was like, I don't want to go and get a whole new skein of this color when I had like 5 rows left. Like, I hate that. But I'm doing that with my son's sweater right now too. So like, you know, I gotta go buy yarn later today. But this was a great pattern. His instructions were amazing. His YouTube tutorials are just on point. I know people have their feelings about Stephen West, whatever. He was so thorough and it was a great product and it was so much fun to knit and it was such a challenge and really boosted my confidence in this craft. And so I really appreciate his works. I will never make one of his shawls, one, because I will never wear it, but also I don't think my brain capacity could be like, cast on 5,000 in I-cord. Like, no. Not in this moment in my life. No, thank you. The next one, after I started doing this, is when I started doing gift knits. And my gift knits were cool. I did a pretty big array. So on top of the I'm So Basic sock, I did the cloud slipper. For a lot of my family got the cloud slipper. My girlfriend actually just got a cloud slipper the other day too. And such an easy pattern. So comfy. Oh my gosh. And you can really use like any yarn that you want, any kind of like chunkier yarn. So it's a super, super, super quick knit. And you get a really cute product out of it. It's a very basic slipper. But like if you're in a bind for a gift and you have some fat yarn, knit up a cloud slipper real quick. It's free and the sizes are pretty accurate. So I actually was using the Thick and Quick for everybody's gifts last year. My brain just forgot the word gift. I was using the Thick and Quick. And then this week, my girlfriend, she's Miss Spooky Girl and she's been my best friend for over 20 years. And so I found this velvet blend that just fit the vibe. It's black and sparkly, and then there was a purple one that was sparkly. I was like, well, I'll put these two together. I'll, double strand it and make her a spooky slipper. They turned out so cute. They fit her perfectly, and it's just a really nice, easy project. When you're in the middle of like really heavy projects, it's always nice to just like have that, I don't want to say instant gratification because it's not instant, but that faster, reward of getting something off the needles. So I highly recommend the cloud slipper. I think it's great. My husband really, really wants a pair, so I might end up making him a pair before the baby comes, just so he's got something cozy on his toes in the hospital. But love the cloud slipper. That one's like my staple birthday gift. Just know, if your birthday's coming up and I haven't made you one yet, you're probably going to get a cloud slipper from me because I love knitting them. I think they're fun. It literally took me like maybe 30 minutes per slipper. Now, that's making the smaller size. But even the larger size that I made for my nephew, oh my gosh, this kid's got huge feet. Okay, it took one whole skein of the Thick and Quick per shoe. Still only took me like an hour because it's just knit purl, you know. So love the cloud slipper. That was really fun. I'm obviously still loving it because I made it this week. I also, during gift knits, decided to dabble in casting on my own sock. I felt, you know, Stephen West really like put the confidence on me, okay? He shouldn't have, but he did. But he did. So I cast on my own slipper using the Rowan Yak Dekay in this really beautiful like emeraldy green. I think it's the same, like also called pine, or maybe no, this one's moss. I'll show you. I think it's moss, but this was my first time playing with Rowan and casting on my own project, which was very, very fun and a huge challenge to try to like remember when you're going based off nothing. I got a long ways before I'm making my own patterns, but both socks turned out the same size. They were just little booties. They fit him great. I loved the yarn. The yak is really structured. Like it's very sturdy. And so I felt like it would be just a good little pop-on slipper for him. And he really, really liked it. I thought that it turned out really cute. And it was also very rewarding to knit something based off of nothing. That felt really good. So there's my Connor slipper. That's what I'll call it. And it was just a very, very fun thing to just start doing, and keeping track of like exactly what I was doing was fun to kind of really learn how to knit. You know what I mean? Like when you are just casting on for yourself with nothing to follow, you really start to dissect stitches. And that was something I hadn't done yet. So I really had to learn how to read my work. And that was really cool because I hadn't really needed to do that before. And now I feel like I know how to read my work and have that kind of confidence in where I'm at in a pattern if I have to set something down. Whereas before I was like terrified to put things down in the middle of a row. You know what I mean? It was just like very stressful for me. Now I feel like I can set it down and then I can go back and see where I'm at. While I was in the middle of gift knits, I decided I was going to be a test knitter. Again, we're just like thriving in knitting confidence, okay? And I'm so happy that I did this, but in that exact same breath, I made it like the hardest thing possible. So this is from Off Hook Creation. This is the not quite cable skirt, okay? I love this skirt. It is a bamboo silk blend. I did a double strand. Beautiful. I really wanted like a tan, like a khaki color with a creamy color. And this is Lang, Liza, and Amani. Oh man, I gotta figure out the name of the khaki one, but very luxurious yarn. Oh my God. Bamboo blend as well. I did mention in the comments in the last video that I live in the southern tip of South Carolina. It's hot here. Knitting is a weird hobby to have down here because you're not really gonna ever wear it. I'm only wearing a sweater today, one, because I'm inside, and two, because it's pouring outside. But you have the option with this skirt to knit it whatever length you wanted. And so of course, I want to knit something I'm gonna wear. And not only did I make it more expensive by doing a double brand of two kind of expensive yarns, but I also decided that I would not wear a midi skirt. I wouldn't wear it. So I decided I was going to knit a maxi skirt. And the detailing on the side is beautiful. It's It was all used with make ones. There's no cabling at all. I have a video with a little bit better view of everything, but this goes down the entire side. It's absolutely stunning and so comfortable. But because it's with a bamboo and a silky blend, it is pretty drapey, so it is heavy. But when you're wearing it, it's very breezy and very wicking because it's those blends as well. So it's heavy weight-wise, but very breathable fabric-wise, if that makes sense. And this was so much fun and such a cool challenge because I had just learned how to cable and now I'm learning how to cable without them. So that was really cool. And I want to make a top to go with it with the same kind of cabling up the sides. I think that would be really cute. I have a lot of the yarn, well, a lot. I have a good bit of the yarn left. So I think it would be really cool to make it like a little matching set. But again, I'm very pregnant, so let's wait until I know what my stomach looks like, you know, before I go casting on any more tops. But I love this skirt. I can't wait to wear it again this summer. I live on an island. I live right by Hilton Head. So it's a very beachy skirt and very like wear with a bikini top kind of a vibe. And I love it. My only regret with this skirt is that I didn't do an elastic bind off on the bottom. I just did a standard bind off, so it's kind of tight. And I don't know how to fix that. And so that's like the only bummer that I have is I wish it was more flowy on the bottom and less like, but you learn. I didn't know how to do an elastic bind off at the time. And now that's the one that I end up just constantly doing. So, you know, you guys learn as you go. Still have the pattern. I can always make another one, but I absolutely love this skirt. This is like my most favoritist thing that I have ever knit. It's my favorite. The next one I'm getting into, this is the last one I'll talk about, is one that I don't love. I made it's based off the Meryl Streep sweater from Wool and the Gang, but I didn't feel like doing brioche. So I think I just did one by one or 2 by 2, can't remember. And I used their alpaca and their mohair together to make the striping. I used, did I write it down? The Martini Gray and the Snow White, okay? And I think that Martini Gray is also called Mauve in their alpaca. So it's the same thing, but I wanted to make a sweater based off of the mom, Cindy Lou Who's mom from The Grinch. Okay, the new cartoon, because she just looked so dang cozy, and I really, really loved how fuzzy and just, I was just in a moment with it. It is a panel knit. It is a free pattern. So I was like, why not? I have all of this yarn. I had so much alpaca and mohair, guys. It was dumb how much I had. It didn't even make sense why it was in my stash. I had no plan for it. And it did, like, I think that's the reason why I don't have a stash anymore, is because I was like, I had all that yarn just sitting there forever because I just got excited one day. And I didn't even really like it. So I put them two together. It's my first time playing with mohair. I didn't love my mohair experience. That was very, very itchy. It was very, very hot. But the sweater turned out beautiful. As you can see, it's super cute. It's a little turtleneck and it was like doing its thing. And it's a bigger needle, so it is very breathable. But my gosh, mohair is like so itchy, guys. Maybe it's just that mohair. I don't know. I didn't love my mohair experience. And so, and I haven't bought Wool and the Gang yarn since because I didn't love it. I just didn't love it. But the alpaca is very soft, like I said, with my baby knit. I do love the alpaca on its own, but I think I truly ruined that sweater by mixing it with mohair instead of just doing alpaca. I wish I had just done a double of alpaca. But again, it's something that you learn. I don't know. Maybe I'll wear it a lot this year. I have no idea. But I wore it that one day. The day I finished it. That's the only day I wore it. So, you know, I guess that's how I really felt about it. I think that that's all I'm going to be sharing of my past projects. I'm really proud of how like far I've come in this process and how confident I do feel now And it's just really cool. I don't know, looking back on what I was working on in the beginning and what I'm doing now is just really cool, you know, just being patient and actually sticking with something instead of, I don't know, not getting frustrated and then just like setting it off to the side, you know? So I'm very proud of where I'm at in my knitting. I think that me dabbling in so many different projects has really helped me become a little bit more well-rounded as far as, you know, being able to do socks and baby knits and sweaters and skirts and, you know, now working on, you know, baby knits and knits for my husband. Guys, you knit for your husband. You're a champion, okay? Because the amount of stitches is just like, whoa. I'm still in the yoke of that dang sweater. It's kicking my butt. It takes me, I'll talk about this in another video, it literally takes me more than 30 minutes to do one row. So labor of love here, guys. I'm trying to cast on 2 sweaters for this fool and it's taking me 30 minutes per row. My God. But either way, it's still fun and it's just gonna be so cute. But I'm really happy that you all are here. And in the next video, I'm actually going to do a breakdown of the Anchor sweater because I'm making so many of them and you guys showed so much interest in them. I also have some like fun goodies to share and I'm really excited about that. My husband got me my push present and I shared a photo of it, but I didn't really go into detail of what he got me. So in the next video, I will share what he got and we're gonna cast on and cast off together, guys. We're gonna make us a baby Anchor sweater and yeah, and I'm just crossing my fingers that it's ready to go before this child gets here. But I did bring down, before we go, I did bring down the yarn for the felted tweed that I'll be using for this, okay? And it is, I just never know where Rowan puts their color. It's just not even on here. Not even on here. Oh well. This, focus, is the yarn we will be using in the next video. I love it. It will be a baby knit. It will be an Anchor sweater from Petite Knit. And I'm excited to do that with you guys. I've never done anything like that before where I'm actually like sharing my process, but we're gonna get it done. I'm super excited you guys are here. If you like this video, like and subscribe. I do have another YouTube channel, The Holistic Homemaker, where I share some gardening and recipes and things like that. So if you're more into a homemaking vibe, you know, you can follow over there. Or if you're just into the knitting situation, I'm here. I'm excited to be here. This is great. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.